I'm fresh and clean. I'm fresh and clean. Okay, I gotta stop touching my hair. Because if you know anything about my hair, when I'm trying to air dry it, you're on a hair journey with me right now. That's not what this is about. We're gonna be pulling some cards. But I can't touch this or breathe or move for the next 3 hours so that my curls can form. If you can relate, put it down in the comments. Now, we're gonna talk about a few things. And again, I'm here. It's the evening time for me when I'm recording this. I think it's just very important that we be relaxed as we go through this message. When it comes to angels and angelic mediumship, it is not like any other esoteric art, not by any stretch of the imagination. Now, people will try to make it like tarot, like a psychic reading, or like fourth dimensional mediumship. Because a lot of times, those are the disciplines that people are coming from when they're working with the angels. Now, I'm not saying they can't ever work with the angels. Of course they can. But like, I'm talking, like time is not linear with the angels. They're not here to tell you some neat little ego gratifying story. They're not here to tell you what to do. Like that would interfere with your human free will. They're here to coach you along. So it's very important that you understand that when you are listening specifically to my readings. I can't control what other people are out there doing or what they're spreading around. Okay? But it's very evident to me that there are certain energies out there that are getting to people because of what I see when they come to me for a reading. I want you to lean in, okay? We are not going to be seeing things develop or go the way that we are used to them going. We will have to take a different approach. A lot of you probably have already been doing this, but we're going to be having all these, we're back to the epiphanies, right? Where you're realizing maybe what some of your traumas are. Do you go into functional freeze? I do that all the time. I had a moment like that tonight. Actually, I've had a couple of moments like that. Hence me going, you know what? It's okay for me to sit on the internet with wet hair in my pajamas, which are the bottoms are Halloween pajamas. It's what was clean and they're nearby. And this cozy sweater and no makeup. That's fine because it's where I'm at. We're coming into tough times here. And if you are going to insist on remaining shallow and only wanting someone to give you the answers about a lawsuit, or like I get that a lot, like the legality kind of stuff, or I don't know. I don't want to diminish what people ask because come and ask about love. Love is beautiful. Okay. Come and ask about your career. That's okay. Just make sure you're ready to go deeper. And that's the thing as I'm taking care of clients. Oh boy. And I'm not saying that I'm on top of the world over here. I'm not. I'm going through it just like everybody else. I'm learning my lessons. I'm awakening in stages as well. But I'm always paranoid that I've hit the mute button on this microphone. Sorry. But what I'm seeing are the people, and it's so distinct, who have really chosen to remain in the third dimensional ego consciousness. Why is that disheartening? Does that make them bad people? No, not at all. Not at all. There's some really, really, really beautiful people. It's disheartening because they're going to suffer more than they need to. This is where we see innocent people having things happening to them. It's learning lessons the hard way. It's getting into bad relationships. It's being taken advantage of maybe in your career. It's going through burnout and not admitting it. Okay? Now, if you say, well, how do I know if I'm in third dimensional ego consciousness? You're very worried about surface level things. And that keeps you from going any deeper. So you might be someone who never asks the why behind something. You may also be someone, and it's okay because a lot of people are in this timeline. Maybe you have a lot of air signs in your chart, in your blueprint. Well, you are here to exercise your intellect. So that's fine. That makes you a beautiful person. You're not bad, okay? But if you're somebody who over intellectualizes everything and there's never a heart connection along with that, that's where it becomes a little problematic, okay? The other way that you know, and I want you to buckle up as I say this because I'm about to lay it down. It's going to be a little controversial, most likely. The other way that you know that someone is stuck in 3D is they tell you, I live in 5D only. I'm ascended. I already know all that spiritual stuff. I practice regularly. When you're really one of the people that is trying to, like, you're a lighted soul, you're a lighted being, you came here for whatever darn reason, all right? You're struggling. And you're quiet about what you see because you know it's not going to be well received. Because you know you'll get backlash, you'll get gaslit. People will put you away in seclusion, like, you can't be one of us. You're too odd. You're too this, you're too that. I don't know too many people who are truly in that ascension kind of way, who are saying, yeah, it's a cakewalk. Watch people with the ego. Watch people with the ego, because even if you are a super ascended being, you're still in a 3D body. And that distortion is palpable. And if you say you're not ever going through it, you're in denial. And you're selling something. And that's the thing that makes me the most disappointed in a lot of practitioners. Like, oh, maybe I should spend some time talking about this. But, there are so many different social media platforms now. And I always like watching other readers. And I came across this one person's reading. And it was one of those hook readings that I've been talking about for years and years. And first thing she did was pull out a card and she goes, that person you're thinking about, that's your twin flame. I know some of you are laughing right now. That's, I'll spare you today. Okay. But like, oof, oh God. And then like, I don't know, like I got to calm down. Okay. Because I will go on a rant about that. But that was the first thing she did. And she was so dramatically talking about the twin flame. And then I proceeded. Now I was listening and I'm hearing a reading that somebody who's vulnerable, who perhaps just got out of an abusive relationship, and that person is very much on their mind because they got into their field. They're hooked in. They're still draining life force out of that person, even if they're broken up. I can imagine that person listening to this reading and thinking they're to blame and that they have to go running back because they've somehow messed up one of the most beautiful things life can offer. I ain't here for the arguments. I don't care. Put it in your journal. Dear diary. Go pray on it. Go meditate upon it. Careful with the energy you send my way. It'll come right back to you times 10. We're in trouble here. And the other way that you know that someone's a fake one is they'll come out and say, you're fear-mongering. When I'm really standing here with the stop sign and saying, stop, bridge out ahead. So what are we going to do about it? Well, we're going to first acknowledge we are not perfect. I've been doing this for forever, these videos, and being an angel medium. And there was a lot of pressure to always be perfect, to be soft-spoken, to be uplifting, to be inspiring. And that's all good. I mean, I like a good inspirational video too. But it's not my personality. It's not what I'm here for. And for anybody to pressure, just using myself as an example, to pressure someone like me to be anything other than what I really am, then I'm playing a character. And what I'm doing has no meaning. It really doesn't. Now, it's unfortunate because some people love a good act. I have to say my heart's broken. My heart's broken that there are so many people who don't see the fake readers, who can't pick up who's a real one. Who's a real one and who just really was so traumatized in their life that they wanted to take on a whole other identity. It gets into a really complicated discussion. But acknowledging that you're not perfect. I was talking a little bit about functional freeze, which has become this catchphrase on the internet, on social media. But, you know, it's just where my understanding of it is you just, you go numb and you kind of dissociate sometimes, or mostly you're just so stressed and there's so much pressure on you that you're kind of out of it, but you're pushing to get things done, and then you're just completely burned out at the end of the day. And for me, and I'll use myself as an example, you know, so that you can see if this applies to you. I realized that for over 11 years, social media has been my life. Now, I'm grateful for that. I've met a lot of great people. It's given me autonomy, independence. It's helped me see myself in a different way. Helped me use my theater degree because I wasn't so... Yeah, I have a theater degree and a writing degree. It helped me use that because I was, you know, kind of trained to speak and to, you know, be comfortable in front of a camera and, you know, all that. So social media has been good in a lot of ways. It can also absolutely wreck your mind. And so it gets tough. And I'm sure there are a lot of spiritual content creators out there who can relate to this. Oh gosh, it has me torn. It has me torn because this is such a great tool and it gives me so much reach. And at the same time, it has taken such a toll. It's not healthy to be this much into social media. You know what I mean? So I am in the process of finding that balance. What does that look like? Where might I find passion for what I'm doing, right? I think really what happened in the past, because I was still growing and coming out of a lot of like understanding this world and my place in it along with everybody else. And when I first started Angel Souls and I started my YouTube channel, it was a narcissist feeding frenzy. And so many people tried to boss me around, tell me how to do things, treat me like I'm their entertainment. And I'm thinking of one example, one person, I mean, it's a long story, but like insisted that I come to their house for literally to entertain their friends by giving them all readings. And when I walked away, I felt so disgusted with myself that I even agreed to that. But yeah, so point is that it's not healthy. We can get burned out. I bet a lot of you can relate to that burnout. And I want to talk about this. This is part of the message as well. These are all things to talk about. Again, when I first started, people were like, the reading starts, and they would mark down where I started pulling cards. They have been long left behind. And I'm not saying by me. I'm talking like the universal energies that are at play here. They are so far the other way. I don't know. I don't know where they're going to end up. But I had to break that cycle of allowing people to walk all over me. And that's where I started coming out in the videos and saying, you know, setting those boundaries. And I would get backlash for setting boundaries. And I'm going to give you one more test here. when I showed up in this video with wet hair and no makeup? What did you think? Yeah. So, if you were judgmental, if you're like, oh my God, that Michelle, she's so ugly. Why is her, okay, here's another one. Why is her lighting wonky? Because I don't know where to get the replacement bulbs for my other lamps. I don't. It's Stellar Lighting Systems. If you guys know where I can get the replacement Lotus light bulb or the replacement bulb for the ring light, let me know. Email me. Okay. So the reason why I'm going through all of this is because we need to recognize what we're going through and give ourselves a little space. I think the future is feeling formless for a lot of people. And there will be lots of spiritual practitioners who would fight against me on that because their whole damn business is built on convincing you that they can teach you how to manifest. That is so irresponsible. And I'm going to tell you why. The reason for that is because we as souls have never seen this, not in any direction of time and space. And we're kind of collectively making it up as we go, so a little bit, right? And as we are learning more about ourselves and developing ourselves, that's what we're contributing into the collective. So we don't know what that's going to look like. So I think it's a little curious when people are able to predict the future. If you notice, the things they're predicting are very 3D kinds of things, okay? Which can be valuable. I mean, shoot. There's a psychic who's on the other app that may go away. She's been nailing it. And I'm like, holy, okay, good on you. Good on you. I can't stress it enough that there's a far deeper thing going on, though. So I have lots of fellow readers and psychics who follow me. I'm not trying to spread any hate. But if you're somebody who has just kind of kept things on the surface, maybe because you're burned out, all love and respect to you. It's okay to take care of yourself. And it's okay if you're wrong about the future. Because, boy, your job just got a lot tougher. And I would hope that as we all grow and evolve, that you will also make sure that you're taking that sort of spiritual job very, very seriously and making sure people understand deeper connection, higher wisdom, expanded consciousness, expanded awareness, connection. You also know that you're stuck in 3D if you're very competitive and you're proud of it. It's not cute. It's not cute. Oh, come on. Well, there you go. 3D. Cooperation, connection. That's higher realm. Wherever you want to land with that. There'll be lots of shocking things to come. And part of that will be we have friends on this planet that we've been ignoring. And that will be coming. If you think you know a story, no, you don't. If you think you know history, no, you don't. Now let's get back to that future feeling formless. Because that could be very scary for a lot of us. Now, I've kind of been like, you know what? I have done everything I've challenged myself in every stinking way. I'm a small town girl who moved away for college, which was unheard of in my family. And then I moved to Los Angeles, which is like over 3,000 miles away from my hometown. Big city to me was like Toledo, Ohio. Like that was the big city. And we never even went into Toledo as a family. Or Cleveland, or Columbus or something like that. We never even actually went into the city proper. It was usually the suburbs. And I was just wowed by it. But I took myself with so little experience in a big city, went to LA, did that whole stinking thing, and then moved to New York City, not knowing anyone, and worked full time and did grad school and, did all the things. And I'm sitting here going, yeah, I don't know what's next. I'm not going to worry about it. Because we're going to be coming into a time where it's less about proving your worth through accomplishments, and more about seeing the success that comes with the actual internal growth. So instead of, woohoo, I got a Grammy. I mean, good for you if you did, okay? I don't think I have any Grammy winners that are watching my channel. If you're here, hi. I'm honored you're here. Good work. Good for you. So it'd be less about that and more about, hey, I worked on a very deep fear of mine, and now it has less impact on me. Or I've taken my PTSD and I've taken steps to heal myself. I gave myself time to read a book. I gave myself time to explore new hobbies. I am a success because I found something I enjoy that brings me joy. Because I'm telling you, none of the other stuff is going to matter. None of it. Some of you are going to be finding deep connection in love. Well, that's a whole other reading, I suppose. But I'm concerned. I'm concerned for people. Because people keep getting taken in by limerence and lust and calling it love. Having some very deep issues around connecting with another person. We all have them, okay? But are we willing to look at them? Again, I don't hate to say this. I'm going to say it. Be very cautious of the person who can't be alone. Now, there isn't one blanket thing that could be put upon someone like that. Whether they're codependent, maybe they've had some hurt that they are healing, so we want to be very compassionate about that. Or they can just be an energy vampire. It could play out a few different ways, but that's just a couple of examples. But we want to be careful. You want to especially be careful of someone who, like, let's say it's a woman, a straight woman who constantly needs male validation. I'm not even going to be friends with somebody like that. Heck no. Shoot. Somebody thinks I'm cute. Actually, I was friends with people. What am I talking about? That was all my whole friend group in my 20s and my 30s. And if we were out and someone came up and flirted with me, there'd be at least a couple of women in the group would be like, he's mine, kind of thing. So we want to watch that. We got to evolve, man. This is too much. This is too much. And watch out for people who are trying to sell you a story. Spiritual practitioners, they've got life all figured out. I hate to say this, and I'm so sorry, guys. Wellness coach, cool. Spiritual coach, cool. Okay. So long as they're not trying to act like they are above being human. You feel me? And at the same time, you don't want somebody who's like a hot freaking mess trying to coach you. We want this to be Goldilocks. We want it to be just right. So please do comment down below. Okay, skincare. I've got layers upon layers of skincare on this face. And it's getting in my eye. Maybe this wasn't such a great idea. Anyway. All right. Let's see what we have here. Okay. This is what we need to be tuned into. This needs to be number one priority. Now, some of you get a little triggered by God. Whatever, it's cool. Okay, whatever you call the higher power. Now, see, here's the thing that might focus. Okay, here's something that might shock some of you. The God that I believe in, Source Creator, I don't think is the God that's depicted in the Bible. Sorry about it. Or you're going to be like, I have to bye. Okay, goodbye. You know we got to cleanse this channel every once in a while. That's fine. I don't know why I'm yelling. I need to calm down, okay? But I think that some of the stories that come from that being that gets described in the Bible, it's just hits sideways for me. I think there is a beautiful source that loves everybody and has some grand plan, figuring out this little game we're in. I don't even know. I don't understand the mind of God, but here we are. Serendipity. All right. So let's talk about connection again. This feels like events coming together quite nicely so that we can find people that we could truly bond with and truly connect with. Now, sometimes I know for pretty much my whole life, I have gravitated towards things because I felt a connection, people and events and things like that, because I felt a connection. Now, sometimes I went into that and it wasn't necessarily what we as humans would call a good experience, but it was valuable, incredibly valuable. I've made decisions to take jobs because I know I'm going to learn something here and I know it's going to be valuable. It may not be easy. It may not be pleasant, but I will be better for it. Now, that's not to say go out there torturing yourselves, okay? We don't need none of that, but you might find that you're having a little bit more of that. And conversely, realizing who you want to stay away from. If you walk into a room, I get this all the time. If you walk into a room and someone is like glaring at you and you're supposed to be friends and you kind of catch them and they're like, oh, hey, hi. I don't care what anybody has to say about being down on micro expressions. Pay attention. I'm not encouraging you to like be paranoid and read into everything. You know, use your discernment and stay level, stay balanced, but don't let people gaslight. I'm going to use that word again, gaslight you into saying, oh, you didn't see what you thought you saw. Do you know how many times in my life I picked up on someone's energy and I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that person. Or I notice the micro facial expressions or the body language. Like, I'm not a body language expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm also not stupid, you know? So if somebody's going to have like, you know, I don't know, you can just tell. I don't know how to explain it, but you can just tell. So if somebody has that, I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that person. Everyone's like, oh my God, how can you say that? Don't say that about my friend. That's the funniest thing when someone gets defensive about their friend. Well, your friend is a jerk, so go get them, okay? They're running amok. Bring them back down to earth and away from me, okay? So don't let people talk you out of what you know you feel, okay? Now, we got to be careful with that because people are stuck in the 3D. So we have a lot of narcissists. We have a lot of people who are just perceiving everything from a very shallow, self-centered, self-indulgent perspective. And so they would walk into a room if they took this message and go, I just decided I don't like her just because I want to have power over somebody. That's not what we're talking about. I'm talking about you sensitive people out there, okay, where your instincts are good. You probably got an intuitive hit about someone and someone else who probably is pretty shallow and very 3D. Not that 3D's bad, but you know the ones. You know the ones, okay? And they try to talk you out of what you're experiencing. You start to not trust yourself, right? So I've done this where I'm like, okay, you guys claim this person's such a sweetheart. She's such a sweetheart. There's something wrong with you if you don't like her or whatever, or him or whatever. And I go ahead, and I've done this so many times in my life where I'm like, all right, maybe I'm being too guarded. Maybe I'm being judgmental. Maybe I need to give them a chance. I give them a chance, and in the end, it turns out I was right about them. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time on people who don't deserve you. Okay? All right, let's get more cards. Divine order. Ooh. The reason why I made the face and I made the noise. Here's why. Because this divine order card is most certainly talking about divine intervention. We have that God card. We have serendipity. You are being guided away or towards something. And stop thinking it's just about some shallow dang thing in your freaking life. I said it. I yelled it. Did all the things. Eternal embrace. All right. Now, I think in this book, the booklet that this comes with, if I remember correctly, this might be representing a karmic cycle. In the context of this particular reading, the feeling I get around this, for some of you, yeah, it could be a karmic cycle that you're trying to end. But I think this is more teaching us to have that more divine connection with others. So be careful of people who don't have any real friends. I'm not talking about the person who feels like they have to isolate to protect themselves. I'm talking about the people who claim to be popular, but they're not friends to anybody. You know, maybe they got a lot of people around. Maybe a lot of people say they like them, but they don't. They like what this person can give them. Very transactional. You know what I'm talking about. You know the type, right? That type of dynamic that is, it's not a real friendship. It's not real connection. Careful with that. All right. Now I got to be kind of careful. I don't usually have problems with getting flagged, but I hear that people do. So get a little modesty going on here. Okay. Need to calm down. The whole theme here is to calm. What's my pinky doing? Hello. This is sacred sexuality. So there is a lot here about sort of rethinking, re-experiencing, re-examining what your divine connection is first, and then allowing yourself to be connected with someone else who also has that divine connection. Okay. Now, I'm going to bring this back because I think it's a great example back to spiritual practitioners. If you have a spiritual practitioner who is like old school, tarot reader, okay, but they're very wise and they're incredibly loving and they're compassionate. That's it. That's it. They're not hustling cards and flinging cards just to make a buck on social media. How are people even doing that? I mean, I had like a blip on the map kind of moment where I was doing pretty well with the ad revenue and everything, but like that's not generally, at least for me, the money comes from doing readings for people and courses and things like that. So I don't know what they're doing, but anyway, just be careful with that. I do want to make an announcement here. Please make sure that you are following the community tab on YouTube. Follow me on all platforms because I will just do a post to keep you updated on things. Okay. Right now I'm closing down live readings. My schedule's packed and I need a break. There's a lot of game playing that goes on with those live readings and I've cut people off. You know who you are. You're not coming back. Then that's the end of it. Okay. So we're not playing games here. I am so protective of my energy right now. I'm not doing it. Okay. So I'm going to finish out what I have. I'm going to take a little break from all of that. And then if I can open it back up, like if there's a reschedule, for example, on a live session, that's where you'll want to watch where I'm posting. Because if you can grab that spot, then you can grab that spot. Or once I take a rest, I'll announce that those live sessions are open again. Now, what I am continuing would be the standard reading. So if you want to get a standard reading, those are still on offer. Go to angelsouls444.com. Those don't pull on my energy as much as, the other type of reading where, it's me just emailing you the reading. A live session, people can play a lot of games. They talk over you. They're interrupting. They paid all this money to sit there and act like they know everything. So I will always be real with you. And that's the realness. Okay. So leave your comments down below. Let me know how you're doing. And I am sending you all so much love and take care.